Why are there so many Asian tech billionaires, even in just America alone? Let's talk about it, David, because a lot of people are wondering.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, they don't even know who these people are, but these are like the Jay-Z and Beyonce of the Asian world.
Woo, are they? We're going to talk about it because, David, in light of Nvidia stock boosting to the moon like crazy.
$2 trillion valuation, bro.
Guys, you know, I'm not saying we're a stock channel. I'm not an expert on this, but if you guys have not caught wind of Nvidia, you got to rock.
Shout out to Jensen Huang, Andrew.
Yeah.
He got the looks makeover after he became, once it hit about $1 trillion market cap.
Got a cool haircut.
Yeah. But we got to talk about it because this is just like something that I think people know in the Asian world, but nobody ever talks about it.
Because I think we want to talk about it, guys, and there's this whole list of just American-based Asian tech billionaires. Not talking about the ones in Asia, because there are a lot in Asia, but we can't name them all because there's too many. But we're going to name the ones that have American businesses in America that are billionaires. David, let's just go through the names.
Lisa Su from AMD.
Wow.
Also microchips, right? Morris Chang from TSMC. I don't know if he's not American, but
anyways, TSMC is really relevant right now.
They're building a bunch of stuff in Arizona right now because, the whole microchip semiconductor war. The founders of DoorDash.
Right, from the Bay
Stanley
Area.
Tang, Andy Fang, Tony Xu. Interestingly enough, Andrew, a smaller, more premium DoorDash, also founded by Asians.
Right. Is that worth $1 billion yet?
No.
I don't think
They're not everybody on this list is billionaires, by the way.
Oh. These are definitely millionaires.
Way in the millions, 2 billions. Stephen Chen and Jawed Karim, Andrew, who his father is Bengali, founded YouTube along with Chad Hurley.
Yep. Yu Pan from PayPal, one of the 6 original, I think with Elon Musk, right?
Yeah. James Park from Fitbit.
Forever 21 founders, technically, is that Korea-based or LA-based? Either way.
It was LA-based.
It was LA-based.
I mean, it's gone bankrupt now. I think it got bought out by somebody else, but it was in a crazy arc.
They were once valued at probably near $1 billion.
No, yeah. Do Wong Chan, Jing Soo Chang, Jerry Yang was the co-founder of Yahoo.
Eric Lai from LinkedIn. Eric Yuan founded Zoom. Eric Yuan is born in China, but obviously Zoom is an American company based out of the Bay.
David Lam from Lam Research. If you're not in the semiconductor world, he started Lam Research, which did a lot of wafer fabrication, and now he's doing electron beam lithography.
Alexander Wang, we've talked about him, and he's dating Kiernan Shipka right now.
Youngest American self-made billionaire in history, 25 years old, Scale AI.
Yep. William Wang started Vizio.
Hey, Vizio got the best budget TVs in the game.
Tim Chen from NerdWallet. John Tu from Kingston Technology. Patrick Su Chung. He's actually born from South Africa, but he was in the cancer research and he made a cancer drug and
a minority owner of the Lakers.
Yes,
but also Andrew, on to another NBA owner. We've got Joe Tsai.
Yeah,
owns the Nets.
Yeah.
From Alibaba.
Made the money, Alibaba, from in China or on the Asia side of things. But anyways, owns the Nets now in America.
This was just a few of the people. These are sort of like, we don't have Jay-Z's and Beyonce's in the Asian American community.
Right. But
these are almost like the people who just achieve like almost like global elite A1 plus status in terms of money. Right. I'm not saying social status. I'm not saying blah, blah, blah. I'm sure that's variable. It depends on how they deploy their capital. But these are like absolute unbelievable successes, right?
Right. And I mean, they're not always at the craziest parties. They're not always with celebrities. Most of them are not.
Because they're tech founders.
Yeah, they're tech founders. So I think the next part of this video is we're going to talk about why there are so many Asian tech billionaires in America. And then also, what does that mean, David, at the end? Like, what does it matter that we got rich Asians? We have a lot of poor Asians still in America, but we've got a lot of rich, nerdy Asians. But what does that mean for Asians?
And the reason why there's not that many Indians on this list is, well, first of all, I just had the list, I pulled it, but most Indians, and there are billionaire CEOs, they're entrepreneurs, they rose up the company, and they're billionaires due to their stock exposure versus founding the company.
There are some founders. Let us know in the comments down below. We didn't even name every Asian, by the way. There's more on the list, but these are just like the main ones. So anyways, why are there so many Asian tech billionaires? Let's go through the reasons really quickly, David. A lot of people are going to be like, well, Asians are nerdy, so they go into tech.
Well, specifically, a lot of East Asian countries are super nerdy, right? Like their global academic test scores are near the top in terms of science, technology, engineering, math.
But saying that they're nerdy is not enough. That's too like broad. Like, what does that mean? Like, so that means a lot of Asians go into STEM fields. And if you think about it, STEM fields, okay, computer science jobs, due to their stability, higher pay, advancement opportunities, it's what a lot of Asians value. Obviously, you have to know generally a pretty good amount of math to go into those.
Well, you need actually math, science, and reading, because how can you improve your science without the reading comprehension?
Yeah, and even in tech, background in physics, maybe less biology, but more physics and mathematics matters. You go into engineering, obviously knowing the computer languages, Java, blah, 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 blah. Also, David, if you look at cultural history, Confucianism, it does value education. Obviously, East Asia has had a long test-taking culture.
Actually, East Asia and specifically China invented test taking.
So,
literally, the concept of a ranked national exam was invented in China.
So these are obvious reasons. Don't worry. Stay with me, guys.
And actually, I looked into it, Andrew. It has to do with Mahayana Buddhism as well.
Oh.
Mahayana Buddhism, which in Japan now is more Zen Shinto, but essentially Mahayana Buddhism, that specific strain of Buddhism, stresses education. But education, you could argue it comes back to Confucianism. Confucianism is stability, but the stability came from education.
Right. Because, and a lot of Asians' roots come from countries that were not, hundreds of years ago, capitalistic in that way. The only way to rise up was through education. So, of course, we value education a lot. While in America, if you grow up in America, you already know there's like a million different ways to make money in America because it's capitalistic and it's very free.
Hey,
right?
This the land of P.T. Barnum and Bailey.
So what
and
I'm saying, guys,
outlaws
is what you're starting to see is this intersection of valuing academics and tech and science crossing over with capitalism, and that's why you get all these big numbers. So, guys, also, a lot of these immigrants, by the way, they went to good schools. They might be from good families. Perhaps even their families were doctors, scientists, or engineers of some sort, or had some schooling. So you're getting a pretty high crop, the cream of the crop, I would say, partially from Asia to America and starting companies. These are all good students.
A lot of people, they came from these backgrounds where maybe their dad was an engineer. Their dad was involved in the field as, in some regard, right?
Yeah, some of these guys who are like 50 years old, easily their father could have been at the early days of certain like science and computer fields. But anyways, so obviously if you're second generation in something, it's greater.
I mean, it's like being Steph Curry. Steph Curry, there's no way he's becoming the greatest shooter of all time if his dad wasn't one of the greatest basketball shooters of his respective era.
Right. A lot of exposure to computers at a young age. Obviously, if your country doesn't have a lot of computers and tech, then that is going to affect. Also, here's the thing. My last point is that Asians are very entrepreneurial. Not only are they great cogs in the system, and they are a lot of workers and a lot of things like that, but there's an entrepreneurial spirit where there's actually 3 million Asian-owned businesses in America, and there's only 18 million Asians. So that means there's one business per 6 Asians in America, but that's including all Asians and not just sparsing out for like people of business age, of adults.
Yeah.
So if you think about it,
we ourselves have like 3 businesses.
Yes. So think about it. Asians are super academic, into STEM, science, and math. You're getting the cream of the crop, Asians. This is a capitalistic country. You start a business, you can found a business, you can rise up. So to me, it's not rocket science.
Right. I mean, so a couple quick takeaways. I wish I invested in Nvidia earlier. STEM is great because there's no gatekeepers. If you do the work, you do the work typically, right? There's no sort of we don't like the way you look. If you do the research, you do the research, right? I will say this, though. It really depends on the life you're born into. By the way, check out Smile Out Sauce at smileoutsauce.com. It depends on how you want to live your life. Because, here's what I realized, man. Like, me and you, we may come from a family where we could have been like a tech founder, but we more went towards the societal things and talking about the social side of life, and that's where most of our companies are based, for example, like Smile Out and Fung Bros Ventures and things like that. But I'm saying, I guess that's more in the tech world, but I'm saying that it's like everybody's like born into a community with different triggers. Obviously, these CEOs that are tech founders, they were born into a community where being a tech founder hit their dopamine triggers. But that's not true for everybody for the life that they are just randomly born into.
Right.
So I think that that's a huge thing. Anyway, let's just get into the comment section. Somebody said, STEM empowers Asians, man. Everybody says that Asians need to be more creative or more cool, but how come STEM, our rock stars are still STEM? But I'm saying this. I mean, that's like looking at Jay-Z and Beyonce and being like, oh, you should, if you're Black American, you should only go into entertainment because that's where the highest levels have been achieved. But everybody needs to be more holistic at everything, right?
Yeah. I'm not ashamed at all by how many Asians are in STEM. I don't feel any shame on that, even though some people think that perpetuates stereotypes, or maybe to an extent it does. And maybe
makes you nerdy with the QWERTY and the algos and the equations.
Our whole philosophy is not change your major, guys, but it's like, just be the best Asian you can be,
just get a better haircut if you're going to be a software engineer.
Right. Be a software engineer, but just be a better, cooler version. But basically it's like, I don't want to confine races of people. That's the whole terrible thing that you could do. You know what I mean?
But of course there's patterns. Yeah. Of course you see trends.
Cultural things. There's cultural factors, yeah.
It's true. We don't have any bad bunnies in the Asian world. We don't have any.
I mean bad bunnies?
Yeah, we don't have any bad bunnies and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. Every race has different patterns and different things that are like their situation. Even within Asians, right? Like this is what we're referring to as primarily East Asian, right? But, there's a lot of Southeast Asians that are high up in tech companies too. Basically, somebody said, can we stop with the wealth worship in 2024 and tying personal value to money? And somebody else said, what other metric is there? And then somebody said, what about breaking stereotypes? If everybody says that Asians are like weaker nerds, what does these rich tech CEOs do to challenge that if Asians are getting picked on in the streets or in the neighborhoods or in the rural zone?
Okay.
Do you think it's true that these tech billionaires should take their billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars of liquidity and deploy it in entertainment, media, and politics, the fields that Asians happen to be much weaker in?
Okay. It's hard to tell every tech billionaire to think like the Fung Bros or something. You know what I mean? To think about the bigger picture and think about how Asians are viewed. Some of them don't care, and that's not fully wrong, but I wish they did. But I also,
they didn't get to where they're at by caring about
the guy Jensen Huang doesn't create Nvidia to upheave Asian male stereotypes. That's not why he did it. Maybe that was like 5%, and he's like, well, I just want to be a successful Asian guy, but he's not trying to break it. So obviously I wish
he's not trying to make all Asian guys appear to be The Rock.
Yeah. I mean, there's some billionaires who did give their money to certain organizations, Joe Tsai, Jerry Yang, who are all invested in like TAF, the Asian American Fund, which does some stuff like that, but nobody who's like just producing all these films. Right. And it's like, yeah, I do wish that some of these Hulu, Netflix series could be partially funded by some really rich Asian guys and just be like a cool ass Asian show. Does that mean it'd be successful? I don't know.
Right. Why do we talk so much about Hollywood and not enough about these tech founder billionaires? Like, you know what I mean? Well, if you go to a college or you go to, we do college shows all the time. We just came back from University of Pittsburgh. They don't ask you questions about Lisa Su and Jensen Huang. Well, obviously not that anything I would have to say would be
right. Not that we were even the people that they would ask to, but I mean, because media is front-facing. It's the thing that's cool. It's the thing that's flashy. It's the thing that's easily consumable.
Right. In a popular Hollywood high school, these guys would be super successful, but not cool.
But it's true, because what percentage of the American population can understand a Jensen Huang? Or understand even what Nvidia is.
Maybe Eric Yuan, more consumer-facing products.
Yeah, or maybe Alexander Wang now, who's dating a Hollywood actress and does AI. He's a little bit cooler. He's kind of he is kind of the next generation that's a little bit more in the news.
I would call him more Elon Musk-like.
Right.
Because Elon Musk was the Amber Heard and et cetera.
Because to be honest, I didn't hear about any of these Asian billionaires until like 6 years ago. Right. Like I just didn't know, because also they didn't become billionaires yet. They were just working on the background, unless you were in the tech world. You didn't really know these guys until like several years ago.
Right.
So
because they're not like doing consumer facing products.
Yeah, you didn't meet them at the mixers or at these big parties. They're not getting the Asian awards at the Asian award show. Maybe there should be Entrepreneur of the Year at like the Unforgettable Gala in LA that recognizes only entertainers. And maybe you should just throw in some tech founders so that they feel part of the party. Does
it just feel like everybody's always like sort of unbalanced. Like, you know how Asians, we got like all the tech billionaires, but then people would say, you guys have like nobody popping. I never listened to a song by an Asian American that wasn't like
Or
K-pop.
Asians are still getting disrespected.
And then like, look at the African American community. I have so many leaders in the cultural media, sports, entertainment space, but then you could argue maybe on, you know, some of the more like other company side, not a lot of representation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but then of course, white people, they got both. You got Bezos, you got Tom Cruise or whatever.
If I had to be honest, and this is my final takeaway, if I was to direct one of these rich Asian guys and they were like, hey guys, I'm thinking about putting a lot of money, X amount of money into politics or entertainment, I might tell them to just put it in politics. Because putting money into entertainment, I've seen it fail a lot. And if you don't have the right creators around it, it might not be that impactful.
But I almost think entertainment would have ultimately affect politics in the long term more, because everybody in America, whether you want to argue it's overly anti-intellectual or overly like beholden to Hollywood coolness, whatever this weird, you know, difficult to define thing of coolness is, in a few more generations.
Yeah, I'm just trying to take my own self-incentive out of it, because obviously if they put it in entertainment, I don't know, maybe they would give some to us. Anyways, guys, you let us know in the comments down below what you think. David, any last takeaways though?
I guess none of these people are like Kevin Wynn, Jennifer Tran, ABB, ABGs, right?
All right.
Is that fair? Is that real talk though?
Can I just, yeah, of course, dude. Kevin, yeah, it's not... anyway, Kevin wins that type.
But then I'm saying the Kevin Wynn archetype for guys, it seems like it gets more love on just like if you go to Vegas on that sort of perception, you're out in these cities, but then these guys are shape-shifting the world. So what's right and what's wrong?
Listen, I'll tell you this.
What call and response? AB beta testing is there.
I'll tell you this. Jensen Huang did not do it for the girls. Although maybe he's very appealing to a lot of women now, he didn't do it. He didn't create Nvidia for the women. And he's married too and or everything like that. But I'm just saying, he didn't do it for the girlies, all right? So depending on what your motivations are, you got to figure out what your motivations are.
What tracks on your dopamine and serotonin sensors? But my whole thing is, oftentimes that's driven by the life you were born into.
Wow.
Let us know what you guys think of all these Asian tech billionaire founders in the comments section below. I'm sure there was a ton that we left out. Apologies to anybody. It wasn't on purpose. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Until next time, we're the Hot Pot Boys. We out.
Peace.